Yeah, I'll take that one. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all going to be about the release. And this is really, really simple. The swing thought I want you to have is sling it, as if you're throwing the club, skimming a stone. We're really going to be focusing on the motion and the movement of our trail arm through impact. So if we were throwing that club, how are we moving this trail elbow? If I was throwing it with one arm here, one hand, my elbow is going to stay ahead of the wrist. If I release that angle early, I'm going to throw it into my lead leg. I'm going to hurt myself. I'm not going to generate much power. So my elbow is leading the way. The wrist is staying back, but I've got to allow that arm to extend, haven't I? And it's extending, if you can see where the ball is here, into and just post impact. So it's reaching full extension just after impact here as I'm releasing that golf club. Same motion if I was skimming a stone, throwing a ball. That arm position is key for a lot of things. One, power generation. Two, improvement of strike contact. So if you're losing those angles early, you're going to bottom out early. You're going to be hitting the ground before the ball or compensating, missing the ground, hitting up on it, topping it, thinning it. This video is relevant with any golf club. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about an iron or a driver. When I work on it with my students, I would always get them to start with some small motions and just get used to that trail arm movement. Now we can even go to an extreme stage of roll the ball with no backswing. How do we move the golf ball there? If we set that trail arm with a little bit of flex, a little bit of movement here with that trail arm set backwards, we're moving it, we're extending that trail arm as we want correctly through impact. Once you've got that feel, I would go into little quarter swings. So set that angle. Trail arm, elbows leading the way, the wrist is bent backwards. It's got to sling, it's got to extend, but it's happening into this motion through impact. We're not losing those angles here. Now I'm not going to discuss in the video if you're losing that angle at the top. There may be some reasons behind it. It may be because you're over swinging, casting the golf club. It may be down to your wrist angles. Rather than going into everything about the downswing, we're really going to be focusing here on the motion into impact. So how we maintain those angles from the club at last parallel before we hit the ball to the club at first parallel post impact. It may be that actually you need to look at the wrist angles at the top of the golf swing or how you start the downswing. So rather than jumping too far down that route, I'm going to put some links here that may well be relevant for you. I'd encourage you to video your swing, look at it in slow motion and try and work out at what point you're losing those angles. If you're losing them very early, as I said, it could well be that you're over swinging, getting cross line, getting a very cupped wrist. So I'll put some links in the video here that are worth you checking out. Let's say we're in a pretty good downswing position to halfway down, but we're losing those angles early. How do we maintain them? Let's just do those little quarter swings. So from here, the arm is elbows in front of the wrist is cocked backwards that way, and we're losing those angles, but we're losing them here into impact. We're not losing them with the trail arm going out, the wrist going early. So we're allowing almost our trail arm to stay with our side of our body and then extend correctly through impact. Let's put it into a little motion, which is a little bit easier when you've got a small backswing, but you can see that I'm just making sort of quarter to half swing and just getting that feeling of throwing the club correctly. You've got to release it. We can't hold those angles, hold the angles, hold the angles. We'd take so much loft off. You'd hit your wedges miles for sure. You'd be taking huge divots. You'd really struggle with long clubs. We've got to release that golf club. We've got to let that energy go. We're just letting it go at the right point into and through impact. So let's just do those little quarter ones, sling it. Look how much speed I can generate from what feels like a hip height swing. Can I do a 3/4 swing? And whenever I do these 3/4 ones, I feel very Tommy Fleetwood, even though my swing looks nothing like Tommy. I'd love it to. But you get that feeling of all the energy is gone here. If that club's sort of bouncing off your neck, you've carried too much energy on. We've got to let that energy go here. And then we want to finish in style, don't we? That very Tommy Fleetwood-esque move that we see and love. So let's put that into fuller motion and try and get that same feel. So finishing a balance, throwing the energy here is the feeling I'm trying to get. I've done the work on my wrists and the trail elbow leading the way. Now I'm just going to try and make some full pace ones where I feel like I let the energy go here and I'm finishing in balance here. One last one. That was pretty good. Straight down my target line. So really well balanced, no club bouncing off my neck, good distance. I'm a little out of breath, but the energy feeling like it's being released, slung at impact. And it's that trail arm motion and movement that we're going to work on. So no fancy drills. Let's just start with quarter swings, half swings, full swings. Let's build up that feel and that's motion. Let's start, if you want a drill, throwing a ball, skimming a stone. I'm not going to encourage you to throw the clubs. But that feel is exactly what we're trying to achieve to help you generate speed at the right point of your golf swing, and it's going to improve your contact as well. If the video does help, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.